Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Roxanne. If it's your first time here, then welcome. Today I want to do the Moody Reader Tag. Everybody and their mama has done this one already, but I really enjoy it and I wanted to share my thoughts. So here we are. This was created by Brittany over at Slanted Spines, and I will link their information down below as well as the questions. So number one is, do you consider yourself to be a mood reader? I do. I definitely do. I really follow, I think the sort of atmosphere affects my mood and hence what I want to read. So as I'm like sort of a seasonal reader as well, so during the fall and winter I read very cozy reads or long fantasy reads that I can sort of sink into, but I let my mood sort of dictate. My mood dictates a lot of what I read, and yes, so yes, I would consider myself a mood reader. Do you set TBR lists and do you stick to them? I tend to do TBR lists. I'm also a very organized person, so I do set TBRs and I do a pretty good job of sticking to them. I more so recently than, and I have in the past as well, but 2020 I think was just, everybody took a left turn there, but yeah, I've been doing a really good job of sticking to my TBRs this year, and probably since like the second half of last year. And it's because I've been able to just become very in tune to what I want to read and what I'm in the mood for, and I pick things that will appeal to that, and I pick a varied number of things to read. And also I supplement it with ebooks and audiobooks that I don't physically have, so that as my mood might change, I have something sort of already prepared for that. But I'm also just really good at predicting what I think I'm gonna be feeling at a particular time, or how a book might affect me and hence what I might want to read next. Number three, do books affect you emotionally? Does the mood of a book rub off on you? They definitely affect me emotionally. I'm a very emotional person. The mood of the book can rub off on me, but thankfully it doesn't tend to last very long. I have had some book hangovers though. I think in series, the longer that I spend with a book, the more emotionally it'll impact me. But yes, they can definitely rub off on me. When you're feeling sad, what do you read or do you not read when you're sad? I tend not to read when I'm sad. It's basically why I got very little read in 2020. Basically right up until Latinx Heritage Month, in which I found my way back into booktube and started to do a lot of work to get in a better mindset, and I was able to start reading again. But I tried to read a lot sort of during the beginnings of lockdown and things like that, and I have to say I probably wouldn't be able to tell you much about what I read then. I think I read just for the I just went through the motions. I wasn't really taking in what I was reading. So yeah, I just tend to not really read when I'm sad. Number five, most often do you read to escape, to learn, or to critically reflect? I mostly read to learn, not so much via sort of nonfiction, but also just to learn about other people's experiences, the ways in which other people view life, view the world, view humanity. That's mostly why I read, but I am able to escape as well. That's why I love fantasy, and that's why I love middle grade a lot. Those allow me to really escape into these very amazing worlds, and so I would say for both. Number six, what is a book that made you laugh out loud? So I just read the first two in the Talia Hibbert Brown Sisters trilogy, companion trilogy, and the first one was really funny. It made me chuckle a couple of times, but number two made me laugh out loud multiple times, and it was amazing. Number seven, what is a book that has made you cry, or if you don't cry, one that really moved you? One book that made me cry is Flowers for Algernon. That book talk about a book that affected me emotionally. That one for sure. I was like hysterically crying. Number eight, what is a book you didn't even know how you felt about? I tend not to really think this. I either like a book or don't. I guess there are times in which I might not be able to properly explain why I don't like a book. It might be more sort of just the vibes of the book. I know that's sort of a thing we say a lot now, but that might be it. Like, I just didn't jive with it very much, and it's not necessarily anything to do, there's not something that I can say like the book did XYZ wrong. I didn't really connect with it, and so I just feel meh about it. But I can say I felt meh, or I don't like it, or I liked it. There isn't a book, I don't typically have times in which I'm like, I'm perplexed by this book and I don't know how to feel about it. Number 9, are you more likely to read on a sunny or a cloudy day? I just read whenever I have time and feel like reading. I mean, rainy days are nice and cozy, and so that's always really nice to have like a cup of coffee and have the rain sounds in the background. But yeah, a lot of the times I might just end up watching a movie instead. So, but yeah, I just read kind of whenever I have time and I'm in the mood for it. I don't tend to read more one way or the other. Number 10, do you usually set the mood when you read? Music, lights, smells, etc.? Not really. I just kind of sit and read. I sit in the same sort of middle section of my couch every time I'm gonna read, as you will see in basically all of my vlogs. Sometimes I will put some like Spanish guitar music in the background. That's always nice. But a lot of the times I just have the TV on very low, or even muted. I just like to have sort of more lights, I guess. And or I'll put something that I know won't distract me. But I do like to have some sort of sound sometimes in the background for the most part, but I don't really like set the mood or anything like that. I'm more likely to in the fall and in Christmas time. Like I'll shut off a lot of lights, turn on all the Christmas lights, make some hot chocolate, stuff like that. I'm more likely to do that in the colder months. And number 11, can you leap from book to book, or do you need a buffer time between them? I typically give myself a little bit of time in between them, even if it's just like a few hours. If I finish a book later in the evening, I will typically not pick up something else until the next morning. But I don't tend to need a lot of time in between books, and if I do, that means that, again, we go back to sort of the book emotionally affecting you. And what I do is then I will pick up a book that will affect my mood the other way. So if I read something that's like, I read a lot of harder, like some of like hard-hitting, maybe sad books in the month of April, and I just supplemented it in between with some cozy murder mysteries or romances to sort of lift my mood back up and be like a palate cleanser in between the more difficult reads. But I was able to go from one to the other relatively quickly. I didn't need, days or a week or anything like that in between. So yeah, I feel like everybody has done this, so I don't necessarily feel like tagging anybody. But if you have not done this and you want to do this, feel free and let me know so that I can check it out. As always, thank you for watching and for listening. I love you all very much.